Africa is one country, it's not even a continent. These borders we see and we experience here in our continent were imposed on us by the imperialist. No African brother should derive pleasure out of killing other African people.
During the EFF diplomatic breakfast, Julius Malema said a few things I would like for us to talk about. Watch this clip, we'll come back.
Africa has been independent for more than 60 years. Yet we experience challenges of development even after 6 years of independence. The Western countries cannot live without African continent, using our fellow African brothers to destroy ourselves. We want peace in Mali and welcome the dropping of French as an official language in Mali. That is one progressive movement. Doesn't mean French cannot be spoken, but to say we have conquered the imperialists and colonizers and continue to have their languages as official languages is self-imprisonment. We call for peace in the land of Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, who paid the price of his own blood by the coup orchestrated by the Western. We call for peace in Sudan and reconciliation of the Sudanese people, who are tired to see the silence of the international community towards the continuous bloodshed in the eastern DRC. The Western countries supporting some neighboring countries in DRC to destabilize the eastern DRC. We shouldn't find it exciting that African countries can fight amongst themselves with ease, especially fighting around territorial expansions. Africa is one country, it's not even a continent. These borders we see and we experience here in our continent were imposed on us by the imperialist. No African brother should derive pleasure out of killing other African people. We say this because we are advocating for one Africa with one currency, with one legislature, with one military and one president. Because we believe that these small pockets of countries are the ones that make international communities undermine Africa. Just imagine one president of Russia or America calling all the presidents of all countries to their countries to be addressed by one president. We see that as belittling and undermining our continent. We believe that if we have one currency based on our mineral and natural resources, it will be one such a strong currency, and it will place Africa firmly on the international table.
He said one currency, one military, and one president. Obviously, in 2023, it's so hard for us to envision that happening, knowing our Africa, right? Even in the same country, there are so many tribes that are fighting. There are so many people that are not willing to unite and, have one voice. Just imagining Africa as like one country, because he said, let's even think of Africa as a country, not as a continent, because he said, these borders were imposed on us by the imperialists, which is true. And that is exactly why they always try to divide us. They always want to deal with us separately and not as a unit or not as one people. As much as that sucks and that's our reality right now, it's good that there are leaders among us that are picking this as a concern, picking this as an actual conversation that needs to be had. We agree. Malema is definitely a visionary. You can say, let me tell you, you either love Malema or you don't. And that's pretty much it with Malema, because he is so extreme and he doesn't seem to care for gray areas. He's like black or white. Like, he is a very direct and he knows what he wants and he is not afraid to speak up, to speak out. And that gets him in trouble, obviously. In this day and age, you have to sugarcoat things and you have to be politically correct and all that stuff that we have to deal with in modern day society. But he does not care about that, and he's always getting in trouble. But you can't deny that he cares about our people, and he wants unity, and he wants all of us to come together. In the same speech, he also said that, we should not celebrate or find pleasure in seeing Africans fighting one another. And unfortunately, it's like what I said earlier, there's tribalism, there's xenophobia, there's hating one another. Even though I'm seeing that reducing day by day, there is a lot that we need to fight right now, because if you want to see any kind of success, or if you want to change the narrative, you have to come together. You might have disagreements, like we're all human beings and we all have our own individual way of thinking, or how we were raised, and our cultures. Even within a community, there are different kinds of cultures. I get that, but we also have to learn to work together for the greater good, and we have to learn to love one another. If we don't fix that, it's going to be very hard for us to get what we deserve, to succeed, to feed off of our own land, to benefit from our own resources. So we really need to think about that. But anyways, fam, I thought it was interesting what he said. That's why I wanted to show you. Let me know down below what your thoughts are about what Julius Malema said. I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed. Bye.